He was supposed to be the next LeBron, a 6'10 phenom with the vision of a point guard and the athleticism of a superstar.
Ben Simmons.
Rookie of the Year, an all-star, the future of the league. But somewhere along the way, the spotlight turned into a shadow. Missed shots, broken confidence, and an unforgiving media transformed his meteoric rise into a staggering fall. This is the story of Ben Simmons. To truly understand just how far Ben Simmons has fallen, we have to go back to the start. From the beginning, it was obvious he was talented, having been chosen to represent Australia at the U17 FIBA Championship at just 15 years old. Knowing he had a future in professional basketball, Simmons moved to the US in January of 2013, where he would attend Montverde Academy in Florida, a top school that has many famous alumni. In his junior year at Montverde Academy, he got 18.5 points, 9.8 rebounds, and 2.7 assists per game while shooting 69% from the field and 77% from the free throw line. Montverde finished the season with a 28-0 record, closing with a 71-62 victory over Oak Hill Academy in the high school national tournament at Madison Square Garden. Simmons had 24 points and 12 rebounds as he was named MVP. Following the season, he was named America's top high school junior and was voted MVP of the National Basketball Players Association Top 100 camp. With such standout performances, it came as no surprise that Simmons signed a national letter of intent to play college basketball at LSU. He proved just why he was so sought after in his senior year, being named the Naismith Prep Player of the Year and the Gatorade National Player of the Year on 24th March after leading the Eagles to a 28-1 record and a berth in the high school national tournament for the third straight year, after competing in the 2015 McDonald's All-American Game on April 1st. Simmons led Montverde Academy to a third consecutive high school national tournament title with a 70-61 win over Oak Hill Academy on April 4th at Madison Square Garden. He again earned MVP honors after recording 58 points and 35 rebounds over the three-day tournament. Considered a 5-star recruit by ESPN.com, Simmons was listed as the number 1 power forward and the number 1 player in the nation in 2015.
You see the numbers he put up last night? He's the best passer in the country.
The best all-around prospect since LeBron.
He'll be the clear-cut number 1 pick. People will be tanking like crazy.
The hype around Simmons going to the NCAA was huge. Shaquille O'Neal had described the Australian as the best player in the world after he had signed for LSU. Crazy that now Shaq describes Simmons as sensitive.
But Cameron, Ben, you went to LSU. Man up, man. Man up. Stop messing around. Come on now.
Oh, how quickly things change in the world of sports. On the 13th of November, 2015, Simmons made his college debut in LSU's season opener, recording a double-double with 11 points and 13 rebounds as a starter in a win over McNeese State. A month later, he helped LSU break a 3-game losing streak by recording 43 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 steals, and 3 blocks in a 119-108 win over North Florida. His 43 points were the most for a Tigers player since Shaquille O'Neal had 43 against Northern Arizona in 1991. Simmons was playing so well that Magic Johnson dubbed him the best all-around player since LeBron James. Following the conclusion of the regular season, Simmons was named first-team All-Southeastern Conference and the league's Freshman of the Year on the 2016 Coaches SEC voting. He was also named to the 8-player All-SEC freshman team, but even among the success in his collegiate seasons, there were some worrying signs. In a game against Tennessee, Simmons was removed from the starting lineup for academic reasons. He had a habit of never going to class, especially in the last few months of the year. Despite Simmons' outstanding individual contributions, the team finished with a 19-14 record and did not receive an invitation to the NCAA tournament. This outcome was unexpected, given the high expectations set with Simmons' arrival. Some ever argued that Simmons' status as a top player had deteriorated because the Tigers didn't make it to the tournament. Even that early in his career, Simmons couldn't reliably hit a jump shot. It was an area of his game that people thought would improve, but the 19-year-old was pretty much the same player he was before joining LSU. Simmons himself had critiqued the NCAA himself, stating that the system was messed up. "Everybody is making money except the players," he said in the documentary One and Done. In fact, to this day, Simmons' season at LSU remains a topic of debate. While he had shown exceptional talent and really solidified his status as a top NBA prospect, the team's underperformance showed the challenges that come from the one-and-done collegiate system. Why would Simmons care about how the team does, or how his grades are, when he knew he was a guaranteed first-round pick to the NBA where he would make millions of dollars? And Simmons was right, as he ended up being selected as the number 1 pick in the 2016 NBA draft. In the weeks leading up to the draft, Simmons' attitude and character were questioned by a number of NBA media and analysts. At the time, the Sixers head coach Brett Brown stated that these claims weren't true, and that he was content with Simmons' pre-draft behavior. It's tough to pass up on a player who was described by one NBA executive as a Hall of Fame talent that doesn't come along every day. But looking back now, the criticism was completely valid. Simmons' nonchalant attitude has been a massive factor for his downfall, but we will get to that later. Aside from his attitude, the weaknesses in Simmons' game were seen from the get-go in the 2016 Summer League. He shot the ball poorly, but in typical fashion it was overlooked because the other parts of his game were so good. His awareness and passing ability were exceptional, especially for someone that tall. He went on to be named to the All-Las Vegas Summer League first team, and in 6 Summer League games, he averaged 10.8 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 5.5 assists per game. People also weren't too critical of Simmons because again it was somewhat assumed that he would improve his shooting as he spent more time in the league. Unfortunately for Simmons though, he rolled his right ankle in the 76ers final training camp scrimmage. On 24th February 2017, he was ruled out for the entire 2016-17 NBA season after tests revealed that his broken right foot had not fully healed. As a result, Simmons' rookie season actually happened in the 2017 to 2018 season. Some pundits doubted his strength, fitness, and scoring prowess after a full season on the sidelines, but Simmons proved them all wrong. In his NBA debut on October 18, 2017, Simmons had 18 points and 10 rebounds in a 120-115 season opening loss to the Washington Wizards. In his third game on 21st October, Simmons recorded 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists in a 128-94 loss to the Toronto Raptors, joining Oscar Robertson as the only players ever to post 10-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and 5-plus assists in their first 3 NBA games. What was obvious from these first few games was that Simmons had no issues transitioning to the NBA from college. He was still a player that impacted all facets of the game, and he spent his entire rookie season just gathering up triple-doubles for fun. Not only was he able to score, rebound, and play make, but he was also an excellent defender. He would use his size and length to bother ball handlers and passing guards enough to force a lot of steals. Simmons finished the league in the 8th spot in steals, averaging 1.73 a game. He would switch onto any player 1 through 5 with ease. At the season's end, Simmons was named the NBA Rookie of the Year and earned NBA All-Rookie First Team honors. He had even looked in the playoffs, becoming the first rookie since Magic Johnson in 1980 to have a playoff triple-double. Although the Sixers lost in the second round to the Celtics, the future looked bright. Knowing what he needed to improve on, Simmons announced in September 2018 that he was going to be working on improving his shooting with his brother Liam Tribe Simmons. At the time, that got Sixers fans excited. Shooting was the only big weakness in Simmons' game. But as we have seen over the years, this is just an act. Every summer, Simmons posts clips of himself working out, shooting. Yet the season starts and his game is exactly the same. At this point, it's just a running joke, seeing him drain threes in an empty gym just for him to be petrified of actually shooting in a live match. At the time, he wasn't criticized because despite the lack of a jump shot, he was still helping the Sixers win games. He became an all-star, made All-NBA, and was even in the NBA All-Defensive First Team. In the 2019 to 2020 season, he led the league in steals per game. But after the 2021 playoffs, his weaknesses could no longer be ignored. It's actually rare for people to be able to pinpoint a specific date for a player's downfall. For Ben Simmons, that date was June 20th, 2021. Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Atlanta Hawks. Simmons received the ball under the basket. The only person between the 6'10 giant and a free 2 points was Trae Young, a scrawny point guard who is 6 foot on a good day. But Ben Simmons did the unthinkable. He passed away a golden opportunity to score in the clutch. Now you might be asking yourself, why would Ben Simmons pass up on an open dunk? Especially considering the crazy dunks he was making in his rookie season. It's very simple: fear. You see, Simmons' offensive limitations had gotten worse. It wasn't just that he couldn't shoot, it's that he couldn't even hit free throws anymore. TT had gotten so bad that throughout that playoff run, teams would purposely foul him because they knew that he would miss at least one of the free throws. He shot 34.2% from the free throw line, setting a record for the worst free throw percentage in a single playoff run. So in an attempt to not be fouled, Simmons passed away the ball like a hot potato. In multiple fourth quarters, he did not attempt a single field goal, effectively disappearing during crucial moments. For many, Simmons had become the archetype of modern NBA stars, someone more interested in posting big numbers on his bank balance rather than on his stats sheet. How was it possible that a player who had signed a 5-year, $177 million contract couldn't hit free throws? Doc Rivers was asked if Simmons could be the point guard for a championship team. He replied, "I don't know the answer to that right now," which further fueled speculation about the 76ers' faith in Simmons. After the Game 7 loss, Joel Embiid mentioned that the turning point in the game was when we had an open shot and we made one free throw. Many interpreted this as a direct critique of Simmons' decision to pass instead of dunk. Ben Simmons had transformed from an all-star to a liability. Following the playoff exit, Simmons requested a trade and chose not to participate in the 76ers training camp for the 2021 to 2022 season. The situation led to fines and a strained relationship with the organization. He was fined for missing games, practices, and team-related events, with reports suggesting he forfeited over $19 million in salary during this period. Simmons reportedly felt disrespected and scapegoated following public comments made by head coach Doc Rivers and teammate Joel Embiid, who seemed to place blame on him for the team's early playoff exit. Reports indicated that Simmons was unwilling to engage with the 76ers' attempts to reintegrate him into the team. He briefly returned to the team's facility in October 2021, but did not fully participate in practice, which led to his suspension for the season opener after he was dismissed from a practice session by Doc Rivers. Simmons later cited mental health concerns as a significant reason for his absence, stating he was not mentally prepared to play. The situation sparked league-wide conversations about how mental health issues are handled in professional sports, with Simmons receiving both support and skepticism from fans, players, and analysts. Simmons ended up being traded to the Brooklyn Nets. The move was supposed to represent a chance at a fresh start for him, but he did not make his debut for the Nets during the remainder of the 2021-2022 season, citing back issues and ongoing mental health concerns. His absence led to further criticism, with some fans and pundits questioning his motivation and ability to overcome adversity. Nobody is worse than Ben Simmons, professional sports ranter Stephen A. Smith declared in April 2022 after Simmons withdrew from a playoff series against the Boston Celtics with a back injury. While mental health is not a topic that should be taken lightly, Simmons had lost the faith of fans. He had repeatedly promised to represent Australia at big tournaments, only to pull out at the last minute. He had consistently stated that he was working on his jump shot, yet no progress was seen. It's one of the saddest downfalls we have seen in the league. Early in his career, Simmons was must-watch TV. His speed, athleticism, passing. It was the closest we had seen a player come to LeBron James and Magic Johnson. But the lack of development in his game has halted his progress. He's too weak a shooter to be trusted as a guard, but too talented a passer to be left to lurk in the paint. Without an ability to shoot, without hitting free throws consistently, he will always be a liability. Maybe Simmons doesn't want to get better. Maybe he is happy collecting a gigantic salary and having the best seats in the house as he watches games from the sidelines. It's up to him to decide what he wants. Despite the hatred Simmons attracts, there's still an air of expectation that hovers around him, a sense of promise yet to be fulfilled. There is still time for him to get better, but does he have the drive to make that happen?